Now, the BRICS countries' foreign ministers met in Capetown ahead of a summit set for August in Johannesburg. Although the ministers urged on the bloc's intention to rival Western powers, only one topic dominated the media interaction, and that was, will Russian President Vladimir Putin be arrested if he attends the August summit? Now, why was this such an important issue that dominated the discussions? That's because the International Criminal Court has issued an arrest warrant against Putin. The warrant was issued back in March. And Putin has been accused of forcibly deporting children from Ukraine to Russia. The ICC chief prosecutor visited Ukraine 4 times in the last year, ruled that there are reasonable grounds to believe that Putin bears individual criminal responsibility. Ahead of the BRICS foreign ministers meeting, British media reports emerged that BRICS summit would be relocated to China. However, the Russian foreign ministry has dismissed it, dubbing it deliberate misinformation. Reacting to the reports, the Russian foreign minister Sergei Lavrov said, "As far as I understand, such news could have been published only in some yellow British newspaper, and I don't read British newspapers." This was reported by Russian news agency. Meanwhile, Indian Foreign Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar, who was in Cape Town, said that the meeting must send out a very strong signal that he would, that the world, is now multipolar. Let's listen in.
It is therefore imperative that BRICS members demonstrate sincerity in regard to reforming global decision-making, including that of the UN Security Council. Excellencies, at the heart of the problems we face is economic concentration that leaves too many nations at the mercy of too few.
Speaking about if South Africa will arrest Vladimir Putin if he attends the meeting in August, Foreign Minister Naledi Pandor said South Africa is currently looking at what the legal options are. She added that the president would be the best person to comment on this once a decision is made.
Well, as I have indicated to many of our friends in the media, the South African government is currently looking at what the various legal options are with respect to this matter. And I have indicated that it is something I believe the President would be the best person to speak about once they have reached a conclusion.
But it sounds to a lot of people like a fudge. The answer is clear-cut. Your obligations are to arrest him.
The obligations are clear, but the answer is not fudged. The answer is the President will indicate what the final position of South Africa is.
Meanwhile, BRICS nations are considering allowing new countries. This was highlighted by the attendance of foreign ministers from Iran and Saudi Arabia. Venezuela, Argentina, Algeria and the UAE are some other nations interested in joining the bloc.
I believe the enlargement of the BRICS will be beneficial to the BRICS countries, beneficial to developing countries, and to increase the representation influence of this mechanism, and also to garner a bigger power of the BRICS to serve the interests of developing countries and emerging market economies, as well as the international development cause.
Now, for more on this, our correspondent Carlton Ongmu is joining us live from Johannesburg. Carlton, thank you so much for joining us. The big question here, of course, as you know, is will Vladimir Putin be arrested when he comes to South Africa for the BRICS summit in August? What can you tell us about that? Is there any clarity on South Africa's stance on this?
Well, as anticipated, the 2-day BRICS foreign ministers meeting was overshadowed by this question by journalists to all the diplomats that's attending the event in Cape Town. As anticipated again, in the press briefing yesterday, as you heard, time and again, there was questions that kept popping about whether or not South Africa will arrest Russian President Vladimir Putin if it sets its foot in the country. What the International Relations Minister of South Africa, Naledi Pandor, confirmed, saying that they have invited all the leaders, which they normally do. The leaders of all the countries are invited. But because of the arrest warrant that has been issued by the International Criminal Court, the government of South Africa is deliberating on the matter. If you remember, President Cyril Ramaphosa, who's the president of South Africa, has set up this committee headed by a deputy president of the country. That committee is looking into this legal basis of how they can go around this issue. What can they do, what they cannot do. So we are hearing that the committee is likely to meet on Monday, this coming Monday. So we will have an answer by then whether the committee will finalize its work. If they have come up with something concrete or an advice, they will give that advice to the cabinet, and thereafter the president will make his announcement. But as of yet, South Africa maintains that they have invited all the leaders from BRICS, but whether or not President Vladimir Putin will come to the country, and if he does come to the country, if South Africa will make an arrest, that we are yet to see.
Right, absolutely. Now, if we were to entertain this possibility, what does this mean in legal terms, in legal implications for South Africa, which is the member of the ICC?
Definitely, you know, it's very, South Africa is treading this issue very carefully because they don't want a repeat of what happened in 2015 in South Africa. If you remember, then Sudanese President Omar al-Bashir was also, issued a warrant of arrest by the ICC. He was attending in 2015, he was attending an African summit in Johannesburg. He flew to Johannesburg, but South Africa did not make the arrest. So, you know, there was a huge criticism from the West. There was a huge criticism from the ICC. There was a lot of drama on South Africa trying to get off the ICC. Again, towards the end, the court declared it unlawful, saying that, South Africa is not doing the things the right way that ICC, the Rome Statute, had given. So South Africa went back to saying, okay, fine, we will stay back as a member of the ICC, but failed. Dismally failed to arrest Omar al-Bashir. So they do not definitely want the reputation of what happened in 2015. So they're treading very carefully on this matter. They're taking all legal options, legal advice that is put forth before them. They are, taking advices of other nations as well. South Africa yesterday, in the first day meeting in Capetown, obviously all the leaders sat down. And in fact, the foreign ministers were asked questions by journalists, each and every one, on their advice on what South Africa can do. But none of the leaders did answer on that. And South African International Relations Minister Naledi Pandor stating that, be patient. When time has come, when time is right, when there is an answer, President Ramaphosa will announce. But I must tell you that there were reports last night floating around social media, and also one or two media reports stating that South Africa is mulling shifting this summit venue to other countries. They're looking at options like China or Mozambique. But there are questions around this that is a little dicey. But some of the experts, as well as the spokesperson of international relations, saying they do not know anything about that as of now. But they have confirmed the venue is Sandton Convention Center in August, and it is being held in Gauteng. So that has not been, as of now, that has not been confirmed by anyone.
Right. Well, Carlton, thank you so much for bringing us all the latest on this. We will, of course, continue to track this very closely. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.